Here we got a Walker mower, all disassembled. Not really disassembled. The front deck just pops right off very easily. It's extremely easy to work on with all the access to the deck, interchangeable implements. The seat pops up. The grass handling bin just hydraulically tilts back and gives you a good view of that 3-cylinder Kubota diesel engine. And we got the hydro drives and belts and battery up here. We got the fan right there. We can talk about this thing some more later. In this specific video, I'm going to be working on this exhaust manifold right here. As you can see, it's missing a nut right there. It's hanging loose. It's got a crack on that one, and it's got a crack on that one. So it's falling off. It's missing a heat shield. This support bar right here is not supposed to be loose. And if you notice, someone put that bolt back in, and it's really supposed to go through that hole. So furthermore, this bin, I'm assuming, could still be pushing on it. Looks like it's been pushed on before whenever it was bolted in, I'm assuming. I don't know, something is wearing right here, and obviously it looks like this bar was wearing right there. I can see the wear on the bar. So one thing I noticed was apparently at some point this can come out and ride on the opposite side, and I was seeing potentially a little bit of wear from that being on the opposite side. So maybe that's what loaded the weight on this inappropriately. I'll have to investigate further, but I'm just going to put the manifold on that I just got in the mail and try to put everything back together. But the biggest issue is going to be this bottom, that bottom bolt hole. We got a snapped off stud. So we'll get a better view of that when the manifold is removed. Looks like everything else is still there, but it's different hardware. So someone's been in there, and that bolt was completely loose. There was some other shoddy stuff with this thing, like this power cable is loose in the ring terminal, and it was loose on the stud. That's not good for the electrical system. This cap was cross-threaded on there, oil cap. This hose clamp literally was loose, and all I had to do was touch it and it came apart. This hose clamp for the radiator is all the way to the end and about to fall off, and I could probably pull the hose off. The coolant level was low, but the condition looked okay. I'm hoping that this thing is going to be in good shape. This gearbox oil was all the way at the bottom of the stick, not in the full range. Hydro fluid is a little bit dirty, needs serviced. The fan, I thought at first that it was missing a piece and it was already coming apart, because I saw this right here, and you can see it's worn away right there, just like a lawnmower blade would be worn away. You see the wear right there? It'll hit sticks and rocks, all kinds of stuff. So that's the chute for the deck. It sends everything back through there, right through here, inside this blower. It's like a turbo, and then it shoots it up into here, and then right into my grass handling bin. So let's just get this manifold off and see what we're working with. This pulley here runs at all times off the crank. Over here on this tensioner pulley, it's tweaked and riding on that hydro housing. You see the belt is riding all the way off to this one side, and it looks like the pulley's a little bit twisted, but I do think I can just kind of tweak that with a slight bend. But that was making some noise and rubbing. If I'm able to push this back. me get the camera in there. You can see where it was wearing down. Okay, I took those 4 bolts out right there, and that's easy enough. But there is a tech tip involved here, because it's common practice to just instinctively get to the bolts that are easiest to get to. For instance, I got to this one, and this one, and then I should know better. This back one was the hardest one to get to, and then all the weight of the muffler is now hanging. I didn't expect to do that, but all the weight of the muffler is now hanging on the hardest bolt to get loose. So it's best to actually get the hardest bolt first, and then the easier ones make things much simpler when you get down to it, if you know what I'm saying. Did that make sense? Forgot to mention one of these hydro fans was completely busted off. The other one's still on there. But got the manifold off here. And luckily this bottom stud was still out just a little bit, and it just unscrewed with ease. So this right here is the old manifold. Busted up pretty good. We got the new manifold here with a new gasket. Yep, gasket's in there. Put new studs in and bolted up. As you can see, the exhaust manifold is all bolted up properly. I do not have the heat shield, but it's all good. Tighten this back down. The alternator bolts, one was hanging out and the other one was gone. Got those in, got the belt tightened back down, gave it an oil change, topped off the gear oil, and we'll service the hydros later. I tweaked this to where it's not touching anymore, and we'll replace that fan later. Pretty happy with it. Oh yeah, we topped off the coolant, we put new clamps on all around, and we tested her out. She passed. There's maybe a little bit of contact with the blade in the deck occasionally, but I'll look at that a little later. Got this fan back on and it already shredded. What happened? What in the world happened? And it's all finished. Just got done cutting the grass with it. Let's go ahead and pull this bad boy up. Take a look. You know, let's take a look in here. Go ahead and